Hi, this is Mr. B. I'm going to go over some of the problems in this homework problem right here, the calculating area of trapezoids and regular shapes. This is the math tales. I'm going to go over 5 of these problems. And so they're the more difficult ones. A lot of people are asking questions about them. So I'd like to just kind of go over how I work them out, but I will not go over all the way to the answer. So I'm going to let you still have to figure it out, but I'm going to give you some hints about how we can work this out. So there's always more than one way to do this. I'm just going to show you one way, and probably the way that many of you work this out. In this problem right here, I would probably cut it right there to make 2 triangles on your paper, on your piece of paper. Make sure you're just organizing your work. I know a lot of kids don't want to do this, and so they end up just making mistakes, and it's more difficult. Just on a piece of paper, it takes a second. Organize the work, and then we're going to let the calculator do the work for us, okay? So we're the organizers. The calculator is the calculator. It calculates. So let's go ahead and first thing we want to do is write down all of our numbers. So we have this large rectangle right here. This is going to be 20 times 24. So just write the numbers down. Don't worry about calculating anything until we've got all our numbers written down, and then just it's downhill from there. The smaller rectangle is 6 here, but we don't know what this is, and that's kind of the tricky part. When you are trying to find one of the edge lengths, look at the other edge lengths in this shape. The clues are in here. So if I were to say, okay, I need this right here. That's a big thick line. That's okay. I need this. Look at the other edges that go in the same direction. Don't look at 20. It's going in a different direction. 6 is going in a different direction. Those are different dimensions, right? But I do know from here to here is 24, and I do know from here to here is 28. Now, if you think about this, if we were to put these together, should they not be the same? So this edge length that we're missing and the 24 put together equal 28. So that is a clue that will tell us this edge length here. So what is this edge length? All right, so we can put a 4 because 24 plus 4 is 28. So now I know this one is 6 times 4. Okay, so we've written all the numbers down. We can find the area of this, calculate that. We can find the area of this, and then they are placed side by side. So that means we're adding them together. Right, so this is the math expression used for this problem, and that's how you find that missing side length. Let's take a look at this one right here. Don't worry about this. We don't want that. If we're looking at this, one way to do this is to also, kind of very similar, is to decompose, right, into 2 simple shapes. So here we have 2 simple shapes. So on your paper, this is, by the way, a trapezoid. It's always 1 triangle, 1 rectangle. So all trapezoids, as soon as you see a trapezoid, on your paper put triangle, rectangle, and then we're going to write all the numbers down first, then we're going to solve it, okay? So the triangle, we're missing some numbers on the triangle, so let's just save that till later. Let's do the rectangle. That's pretty easy. 16 by 25. 16 times 25. So I'm going to write that down. Now the triangle is a little bit tricky. Now this is the height of the triangle. How many numbers do we need? We need 3 numbers. Don't forget 1/2. That just means we're going to, whatever we get, we're going to divide it by 2. Okay, we're going to take half of it. And so there's always the 1/2. Triangles are always 1/2 times the base times the height. So here's the height. So what number is the height? Well, it is the same as the other side right here. Isn't that the same? Right? So we know that. That's not too hard. 25 is there. I'm going to put that for the height. I'm going to put that here. And the base is kind of the unknown thing. Once again, we can use these clues. Like I know from here to here is what I'm trying to find out. From here to here, I know what this is because it's the other side, other edge of this rectangle. We know from here to here is 16. We don't know what this is. What do we know about it if we put these side by side all the way across? Do we know that number? Yes, that's 28. Okay, so we're using these clues here to figure out this missing number. So find this missing number. And so we're going to do 28 minus the 16. So I do want to do that. If I did this and I said, okay, that whole thing's 28. I'm going to take this out. That's left over right there. And so we end up with 8. No, I'm sorry, 12. So if we were to subtract 28 minus 16, we end up with 12. All right, so here's all of our numbers right here. Here's the triangle. We didn't forget the half. Don't forget that. Put a star on your papers when you're taking a test and say, don't forget half. All right, and then we're going to add these together. And that's our area. This one right here, probably another strategy would be better. Now you can go through here and you can cut these up like this. You're going to have to find out what that is. You know, use your strategies. I know that's 2. You look at other edges that are moving in the same direction. I know this total. I know this right here. So you can use all those clues. You also, that's it. So you're going to need this and that. That's pretty simple. That's a good, easy way to do it. I'm going to look at doing it a different way. I'm going to use the composing, which means I'm going to make a triangle that covers this whole thing, and then I'm going to cut out this little middle piece right here. Okay, so like if I bought carpet, and here's the room. I want to carpet that room. But when you buy carpet, it's always in a big rectangle. And then, so you think, well, I got to get rid of this piece because that's not part of the room. So you have to cut it out and throw that in the trash, or put it in the basement for your animals to sleep on. That's what I do. All right, so anyway, the big rectangle is very easy, right? So what I have is a large rectangle. I want to subtract out the small rectangle. So the large one is just 4 times 4, right? That's pretty simple. 4 times 4. And the smaller one, I noticed, I'm going to use that same strategy. I've got this. I know 2 is here, but I don't know what this is. So I'm going to have to use some of these other sides here to figure out what that is. I know from here to here is 1.5, from here to here is 0.9, and I do know the total is 4. Notice all those sides are going in the same direction. I can use these numbers to figure out my missing edge length right here. So I know it's 2 times question mark. I'm going to let it go at that. You find this. Okay. Use these clues. Yeah, I know all these together is going to equal 4. So I'm going to do some math to figure that out. And then I'm just going to do 2, length times width. Length is 2. We're going to find the width. And whatever our answer is here, we're going to subtract whatever our answer is there. And that should help us find this area. Here's a good one over here. And in this case, I'd probably like cut it into a couple pieces. I'm going to leave a little bit more of this up to you. Okay, I'm just going to show you one strategy. I cut it like this, and then I cut it straight down like this. So we have to cut 3 shapes. These are simple shapes right here. And so we had, this one's pretty simple. It's like length times width, right? We've got that. I already have it written out here with the answer. Actually, it's right here. So 20 times 14, that's a simple, easy one right there. Here's 10. So for this small rectangle, 10. Now don't guess on these. I know some students want to guess and say, well, that looks like 10, so it must be 10. Never go by what it looks like. Find that number right there. So if you're going to have to use some strategies, I know from here to here, that's 12. What is it from here to here? So use the numbers that are going in that same direction. There's a 12. There's our question mark. The opposite side is 20. Use the numbers that we see in that same direction to find these missing things. And let me just kind of, I'm going to erase some of this. What about our triangle over here? Our triangle has, well, if I know what this is, if I find this, that's this for the triangle. Our triangle is going to be like on your paper also. Do this right here. There's a big rectangle, there's a small rectangle, there's a triangle. So keep track of all of your numbers here, okay? 10 times, we got to figure out what that number is. Don't look at that right there. And then the triangle is 1/2. Don't forget the half. We need the base and the height. Well, the height is that question mark, and then the base is here. So we're going to need to find out what this is. Use your clues. I know the whole distance is 32. I know from here to here is 14, right? From here to here is 10. So if I figured, well, there's 14, there's 10, I can figure out what that is because I know the total is here. So that way, you'll have the base. That's going to be that blue number right there. That's our base number. So you have to write that down. I'm putting B. And then our height number is right there. We figured that out. That's our height. So we're just going to plug your numbers in. Write all of your numbers out. And then pick up your calculator. Find this area. Find this area and add all three together. I think that's our last one, right? Yeah, this it is. Our last one right here is basically the same. I think the best way is to kind of cut it like this. Cut it right here. And now we have two triangles. Right? We have the top. We have this middle rectangle. And then we have a triangle at the bottom. Now, notice my triangles don't have to look like these. I'm just organizing my work on paper. So what is, don't forget your half, 1/2 times the base times the height. So what is the base of that top triangle? Base, what is the height? Put your numbers in. Rectangle, what is the length? What is the width of it? The width is not 8. 8 goes all the way over. That's not the width of this triangle, or rectangle rather, right here. So don't get caught up using the wrong numbers. And then the little triangle is where we're going to put a little bit more work into that one. Figure out the base and the height. Because the base is from here to here. And the height is from here to here. I don't have either of those numbers. But I do have a lot of other numbers that are going in those same directions. So use those clues that you see around this to find our height numbers. You want to look at other dimensions and measures that are going in that same direction. That's 4. Well, that's 8. You can figure what that is. Same thing with the base here. We don't know what that is, but I do know what this is right here, and I know what the total is. So use those clues. Find those numbers. Write them on paper. Don't forget to multiply by half. Multiplying by half is simply dividing by 2. Just divide it by 2. Take half of it. And then find your area here, your area for the rectangle, your area for that triangle, and add them all together. All right, I'm going to leave it at that. Those are your hints.